championship leader, has taken over. Vincent holds a 22.5 seconds. Good evening, sim racing fans from across the globe, and we welcome you to LSRTV and iRacing Live for the kickoff of the 2015-2016 Real Sim Racing RSR Outlaw Truck Series here on LSRTV tonight from the World Center of Speed, Daytona International Speedway. We are about to kick things off here, qualifying already underway for what I consider some of the baddest vehicles to take to the track here at the 2.5 Mile Super Speedway, and we bring you up inside the broadcast tower. Jacob Seelman alongside Andy Kessler as we get you set for the call. And Andy, a lot getting set to happen here tonight. Going to be fun. The trucks at Daytona, we know it's going to be a draft party, and it's all about who your friends are, not at the beginning of the race, but on that last lap.
Absolutely. When you're talking trucks in Daytona or any plate track for that matter, you're talking about these vehicles punching big holes in the air. The draft suck-up is huge here. You're going to see some good pack racing with these guys. The problem is, unlike Monday night with Talladega with three decent racing lanes, you can go three wide here at Daytona, but it can get a little hairy, especially when you're going through that tri-oval. So we'll have to keep an eye on those guys here tonight, see how aggressive they want to be in the early going. We know at the end it's going to be pretty wild.
It's also going to be wild if we get green flag pit stops here over the course of this race. We imagine a couple of cautions during tonight's event, but we know getting on to pit road, getting off pit road, and pit strategy here at the Super Speedway going to be chaotic. And the third voice in our broadcast crew going to be keeping an eye on strategies and letting us know what we've got going on. Cisco Scaramuza down on the pit lane. Cisco, I imagine this is going to be a very fun night, and you want pit selection. It's going to be, you know, these lead cars, the cars that can go up to the front quickly in qualifying, they're going to have the best pick or as far as pit selection goes here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's crucial here. You know, you got to come down. It's usually these guys like to come down in packs to make sure they have some drafting partners with them for when they leave. And it all kind of takes place down on pit road because, you know, you want to come out maybe, especially during caution flag laps, like have a car between you and your partner if you're tandeming, or, you know, maybe try some a little bit of strategy. But these guys put on a great show Monday night, and I'm looking to see the same thing tonight.
Final couple of minutes here in this qualifying session. We're counting you down to the green flag tonight. But before we get there, we do want to honor America and pay tribute to this great nation tonight. So to kick off opening ceremonies, we go trackside for tonight's national anthem, Jaden Berkey.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night
bring you back topside, getting ready for the start of tonight's run. Again, 2.5 miles around this Daytona International Speedway. The draft's going to be so key, but I think the biggest thing about tonight's race is going to be the fact that it's going to be the veterans versus all the rookies that we have in this series. A very strong field of veterans taken to the track tonight, Andy, and a pair of them going to kick off tonight on the front row. Corbin Hemstreet, Kevin Linden get the top 2 spots, at least with 30 seconds to remaining in this qualifier. I'm not surprised by that at all. You talk about guys with a lot of experience, and that's what we're seeing here, especially among these top 6 cars. 4 of them, you go back to Stefan Marinak in 6th and even Chad Cole up there in 7th, all guys with a lot of RSR experience.
Yeah, and then you see a refreshing amount of new guys here coming into RSR here as you look throughout this whole list of guys that have made it here tonight. 41 trucks, so a pretty stout field we got, and a couple names that impressed me Monday, especially that I'm looking at him right now, qualified 8th here, Austin Yarborough. He had a pretty good race there until he had some connection issues Monday night, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the truck here tonight.
And we'll kick off our LSRTV starting grid tonight with front on pole for the first time in the Outlaw Truck Series, number 41 Chevy Silverado, Corbin Hemstreet on the point. Tis outside in the lows. 48 Kevin Linden, a veteran of RSR, picked up his first Cup Series victory at Talladega earlier in the fall.
Right, a Boomtown Sim driver in the number 9, Anthony DeBarro, is going to roll off on the inside of row number 2. Starting to his outside in the 40 truck, that's Scott Bolster.
P5 tonight going to be the 67. Stephen Waller, former RSR champion in the 96. Stefan Marinak rolls 6th.
7th on the grid inside of row number 4 is the 8 of Chad Cole. And to his outside, a rookie newcomer here to RSR, the 15 of Austin Yarborough.
5 finds the 4, Tim Matthews. The 1 of Alex Bergeron, rounding out your top 10, and right behind them in 11th as the rest of your starting grid rolls on the screen, you'll find the number 94, a driver who is self-admittedly not very fond of plate racing, but is very good in RSR competition and going to be tonight's in-race reporter. The 94, usually the 1 of Thomas George, and we'll dial him up on the radio. Thomas, Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
10-4, buddy.
All right, I said it. You're not biggest fan of these plate races, but you qualified at least partway towards the front. What's the strategy tonight?
Just probably run our race and run the strategy we're going to run here and survive some of the wrecks that are probably no doubt going to happen tonight. And I'm probably going to be aggressive and try to go to the front here early. I don't want to fall into the back. Hasn't worked out well the last couple of times, so I think we're going to try and go to the front here.
A lot of new names, a lot of old veterans up there at the front with you. We'll let you get to it and touch base with you later. Best of luck.
Thank you, Jacob.
All right, Andy, I know we've said he doesn't like these tracks, but he seems to find his way to the front in them. I like the 94 to be competitive tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think he will be. He's got a decent spot starting there in that 11th spot, so he's going to be on that inside lane. I think that inside lane is definitely going to be the place to be here to protect that bottom side there. Top side, we'll see some runs up there, but these trucks, how big of a hole they punch in the air, it's going to be tough unless they're really bunched up real close, tight up on that top row. It's going to be tough for them guys to really, I think, get the advantage.
And as we roll and get ready for the start of this event, the American Childhood Cancer Association pace car heads to the safety of the pit lane. Corbin Hemstreet, the man on the point, and the American Ethanol green flag flies for the first time tonight. We are underway here from the World Center of Speed. Hemstreet's Chevrolet out to the early lead and has a pretty good gap. The catch is, as we've talked about it all night, you're going to need a friend. Hemstreet got out front early. He does not have any friends right now. In fact, as it's cycling out, he's trying to find his drafting partner. We roll off to the super stretch for the first time. They're 2x2 all the way back.
Yeah, great start right now. That high line, see how nice and tightly packed they are up on the high side. That gave him the advantage on that outside lane down the back straightaway. That's going to give Kevin Linden that bottom side. He's going to drop down in front of Hemstreet, give him that top running spot right now. Just though on the outside, that 40 truck It looks like a Scott Bolster. He's going to try to make a move as they head to the stripe right now. It looks like he's going to end up leading this lap. So good job by that outside line. They're getting it done here, but you can see right there they just kind of stalled out. He wasn't able to clear Linden right there, and that's because there was a little bit of gap between those top trucks right there. But right now, still side by side off of turn 2.
Yeah, and I was talking on that very opening lap how big of a gap Hemstreet had behind him. That was actually because his teammate, who was supposed to start right behind him, Anthony DeBarro in the 9, actually ended up dropping out of the sim right before we came to green. He is still not reconnected, but that's what gave Hemstreet such the gap back to what was the 5th starting truck of Stephen Waller, that 67, and that's why he was unable to utilize really any drafting help to get the early lead. That lead has been held by the 40 of Scott Bolster these opening 2 laps. He's got a ton of drafting help from the 96, Stefan Marinac, the man on the move up top, started 6th up to 2nd, but now the battle for the lead in turn 2. Linden and Hemstreet back on the bottom of the racetrack.
That was a great move right there by Hemstreet, getting right up on that rear deck lid of that 48 truck, gave him a great push right there, gave him the advantage. They're going to lose that advantage right now down the back straightaway, back into turn number 3. Got to give these trucks a little bit of fresh air on the nose. That's what Hemstreet had to do right there. You don't want to let these things overheat, especially this early in the race. You got to let them things cool off, so you won't see these guys tucked up there too long, maybe a lap at most, and then you're going to see them kind of either fan out a little bit to get some air on that nose to cool that machine off before they get into trouble on that end. Once you blow a motor here, it's going to be a long way back around the track, and it's going to be a long night while they try to replace it.
And we go on board with the 96, the reigning RSR Outlaw Truck Series champion, Stefan Marinac, who's looking to go back-to-back. He won the title when we had this series earlier in the summer. He is trying to claim his 2nd title, and he is shoving the 40 of Scott Bolster, who continues to lead on the top side in the GoDaddy entry. Marinac coming, but now here comes Linden and Hemstreet on the bottom off turn number 4, and after the first 3 laps were led by the 40, this time Linden and that Lowe's Chevrolet Silverado going to go to the point.
Yeah, I think we're seeing exactly what we're going to see all night long here, with just like a seesaw back and forth. Top side gets the advantage, then the bottom side gets the advantage. Now you look at Scott Bolster now going to drop to that bottom side, leaves Stefan Marinac now to lead that top side now as they come off of turn number 2. Marinac deciding to go to the bottom. This is what you're going to see all night. We're going to see some like seesaw action here, Jacob, and top side's going to be good, then the bottom side's going to be good. The problem is the guys behind the leaders, they have nowhere to go. I mean, you could push it 3 wide, but you're not going to do that this early.
No, you're not. And Bolster using the bottom lane to hold that lead here as we continue to work lap 5. He'll have led 4 of the 5 laps we completed. Marinac topside, trying to get some help from the 1 of Alex Bergeron. He has got it now, but that leaves Corbin Hemstreet in the 41, a very lonely man at this point. One driver I'm keeping my eyes on back in the pack, the diehard number 8 machine, working his way up to the 5th truck on the inside lane. Chad Cole, former RSR champion across multiple different series, Andy. We know he knows how to get to victory lane.
Yeah, that's a name that's synonymous with RSR, is Chad Cole. And it's not surprising to see him working his way. He's about right where he started here in the race. He started 7th, so he's running right now currently in the 8th spot the last time by the stripe here. But this time by still that bottom side. It looks like that 40 and that 48 have really found something, and they're able to lead that lap again. So Marinac just kind of struggling right now with the top side.
Yeah, he is struggling and trying to get some momentum, but it's just not quite working. We're used to this outside lane having a little bit more than it does right now. But Stefan Marinac just not able to make it happen. Lap truck, we're going to go 3 wide coming, and everybody making quick, evasive action to the inside to keep everything going in this lead pack. Cisco, any word on the 96 of Marinac?
Right now, he's just trying to get a little bit of help from the 1 truck. I think right now he's just trying to go out there and make friends right now. He's not really, we don't see him a whole lot in the RSR, but we do see him a lot on Thursday nights over at Upstate. So that's a name. He does very well over there. He's definitely a short track driver. So it's really cool to see him out here on these big speedways. And he's looking really tough right now as we work our way onto lap 8.
He's already looked tough in the Outlaw Truck Series to date, and trouble. Marinac, Kevin Linden, Corbin Hemstreet. It's the big one on lap number 8. Caution flag flies. Marinac came down, got a piece of Kevin Linden. From there, it was absolute chaos.
That is the big one right there. We thought we saw a couple of them Monday night,
that's 3/4 of the field, Andy.
I don't think anybody. Oh my God! If anybody made it through that thing unscathed, it's gonna be close.
Scott Bolster, the race leader, I think is about the only truck that comes back around here. Under caution with 8 laps complete. I think we're gonna. Wow, we're gonna try to sit here and siphon this out for a minute. Bolster made it through. The Juana Bergeron made it through. The 20 of Chad Coleman made it through. And from there, it's a bit of a mess, or a lot of a mess.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna take a lap or two here to let things get sorted out here, especially with the timing and scoring. But man, you hate to see that up front like that when you got 2 of the top 3 guys that make the contact, because you know that just all that behind them, there's nowhere for anybody to go, especially here at Daytona, especially right where they wrecked coming out of turn number 4. So yeah, that's just a tough one right there for the rest of the field. Really nowhere to go once they did see the wreck happening.
You got to look at the replay just a moment ago, and as we work lap number 9 now under caution, Scott Bolster, one of the few trucks that's happy right now because he is unscathed in this mess. The one of Alex Bergeron. We'll sort the rest of it out when we come back. An early caution for the big one at Daytona. You're watching LSRTV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. We are the voice of sim racing. Stay with us.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself, and they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building 2 tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result, and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
Welcome back to LSRTV, circulating and trying to wrap up this first caution. Think lights are going to go out on the pace car this time by. Big wreck at lap 8, guys, and I want to throw it down to pit road because there was a lot of thrashing going on, Cisco. And, you know, when the Daytona big one strikes, it usually tends to strike spectacularly. Not much more spectacular you can get when you're battling for second and wreck in front of the entire field. A lot of trucks with damage.
Yeah, I'm seeing 8 or 9 trucks still on pit road right now trying to get the repairs done. Some of them obviously have blown motors, so they've got to wait out that timer for towing. And if they didn't have the reset on, they don't even have a reset, so they have to wait that half hour or so, which even then the trucks are still going to be damaged. But yeah, that took a big chunk of our field. I'm looking towards the tail end of the lead lap. I'm seeing about 23 or 24 trucks that are about left on the lead lap right now, Jacob.
Yeah, and Brian Harvey, Scott Simley going to be the front row for this restart insofar as they were a couple of the guys, Andy, that stayed out on this early cycle of pit stops to grab the lead. Only 8 laps of green flag racing on the tires. Tire wear maybe not at a premium here at Daytona. This could be fun.
Yeah, this could be good. It's not going to be like what we see at, say, in Iowa or you know, any of the mile and a halves of Texas or something like that, where the guys stay out on any, you know, even 5 to 8 laps. You can see a noticeable difference with the 4 tires, how much better they are. But when you come to a plate track like this, when the draft is involved, the 4 tires, they can play a role as far as the tightness coming off the corners. But overall, for speed-wise, there shouldn't be an issue.
And they have added a lap under caution here, so we will circulate one more time. And I think something to note of this first caution flag, Andy, Stefan Marinak, Kevin Linden, the guys that were battling for second and came together to trigger that, are actually teammates at HPS Motorsports. So, you know, there's some unwritten rule, I know, across the iRacing forums and the books that's like, whatever you do, it's like Roger Penske says, don't wreck your teammate, and that was about as spectacular a break of that rule as it gets.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, though, it's a big difference if we were at Charlotte. You know, I don't think, you know, the guy in the bottom might have let the guy in the top go, or, you know, there would have been a little give and take. But when you're at a plate track and your foot's right to the floor, it doesn't matter where you are, what lane you're in, you're on the throttle the whole time 100%, because if you're not, you're going to lose the pack, you're going to get run over. So, I mean, it's a little bit different as far as that. Obviously, you don't want to see teammates take each other out, but honestly, when it comes to a place like this, it's kind of hard when you're side by side. It doesn't matter if you're teammates or not teammates. If a contact's made, or even with the sim, you also get sometimes you get the net code, as everyone likes to call it. So sometimes you get some of that, and there's just nothing you can do about it. So it's unfortunate, obviously, teammates getting in each other causing that, but it's even more unfortunate for everybody behind because that happened in front or left with a sour taste in their mouth for race 1 of the season.
Yeah, and obviously not a very long season for this Outlaw Truck Series, just like the Icebreaker Series, 10 races to get it done during the winter here. And as we get set to roll back to green, the American Childhood Cancer Organization Ford pace car going to make its way back to the safety of pit lane. Probably a good thing, because it's going to get messy here very quickly. Brian Harvey, Scott Simley lead the field to the green flag. Christopher Gore riding third in that 5 truck. A little bit of connection issues blinking out, coming back to green. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But the 2 teammates, Harvey and Simley, settling down in the line. They run lockstep, P1 and P2. Everybody else chasing to challenge. Now, Andy, is when we're going to find out who got damage and who didn't, and everybody's getting dicey. Caution again.
That was a little further back in the pack there, Jacob, with some cars that were on the tail end of the lead lap there. So
Kevin Linden again, and the
yeah.
87 of Justin Michael, who's a couple laps down. He got collected in this. The 09 of John Ellers, about 4 or 5 more trucks in this. And we get to take a look at the replay now. So again, and all that really, Andy, was sparked. It was a stack-up that caused it, but it was a stack-up that accordioned all the way back through the field. It was really chaotic at the front of this party because everybody was trying to get up to speed. And around what I saw, the 1 and the 23, Alex Bergeron and TJ Kelly were trying to get hooked together here to make a charge on the inside lane, and it just stacked the whole field up.
Yeah, and I don't think it helped either, too, on that outside line. On that restart there, the 40 truck of Scott Bolster did not get the start he wanted. I'm not sure if he was maybe in third gear on that or just missed a shift, but that stacked the high side up. Everybody was trying to get to the bottom, but that's exactly what happens at a place like this. And when you're sitting in that truck and you're right on that guy in front of his bumper, you cannot see anything in front of you. So without communication, without your spotters telling you that the field's checking up, it's tough not to get into the guy in front of you. And like you said, the accordion effect, it starts in the front, but the guys who end up with the worst of it are always the guys towards the back of the field.
So now what we've basically seen is you've got a pair of RSR veterans in Brian Harvey and Scott Simley leading the party, and a whole bunch of rookies behind them. Christopher Gore, Alex Bergeron, Scott Bolster, who led a few laps early, TJ Kelly, Rodney Perry, Ross Cato, Sean Haverly, and then you got to go all the way back to Mike Montesi in 10th to find another veteran, along with David Camara just behind him in 11th. So Night of the Rookies may be the appropriate name here early on in this race. The Daytona 200 here at the World Center of Racing under caution with 15 of 80 laps complete. And for a report from pit road, we'll send it back down to Cisco Scaramuza.
Yeah, a couple more trucks had to come down to get damage. None of the leaders really came in there. Obviously wanted to hold on to that track position. But right now, the one thing that struck me, guys, is that we're looking at our leaders. They came all the way from, like, back in the pack. I mean, a lot of big movers here early on.
Are we surprised at that? No, it's Daytona, and these are the guys that got through that early wreck, Andy, and most of the guys that got through it were guys at the back of the pack that had the capability of checking up and not getting any damage in it. 28th to the lead for Harvey, 32nd to second for Simley, 38th to third for Christopher Gore. You know, you got guys 25th, 36th, 34th, 26th. Among those in the top 10. So you can't be surprised at this when you talk about most of the top 20 getting taken out in that lap 8 crash.
Yeah, and like you said, that's the guys that had a poor qualifying run, started in the back. And fortunate enough for them, the wreck happened so far ahead of them, they were able to get the truck stopped. So, yeah, obviously it benefits those guys. That's one way, I guess, to make up your track position is to avoid a big one like that early on. But yeah, hey, listen, now they get their chance. Like you talked about, all these rookies up here in the top half of the field. Now's their chance. You know, they got the opportunity now to be up front, to run up front, and hopefully try to, cement their name as a potential candidate to battle for the championship as the season rolls along.
And we'll talk more about points as this season does roll on Wednesday nights. We're going to slide another quick break in before we go back racing and do a little more business here on LSRTV. Back for the green flag in a couple of minutes from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. You're watching LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Domino's TYJ Racing League is proud to announce we are now taking driver applications for our $2,500 purse inaugural season going green January 2016. At Domino's TYJ Racing League, you get paid cash, not gift cards or die casts. Cold, hard cash. You get paid for finishing 1st through 20th in our championship and 1st through 3rd, plus a lucky dog bonus in all of our 20 races, plus other cash bonuses. You're going to like the way you look. All the way to the bank. I guarantee it. Purse amount approximate, paid cash or iRacing books. Drivers carry less than $20. Report unsafe driving to local authorities. Apply today at Domino'sTYJRacing.com to see if you qualify for our league. And join our preseason Thunder tryout races Saturday nights at 8 p.m. through the end of 2015 to see if you have what it takes to make the cut and some cash.
We're back here at Daytona International Speedway for the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. Getting ready to get this field double filed, ready to get back into some green flag action here at Daytona. A couple cautions early on in this race have kind of slowed the pace down. We're working lap number 16 right now of 80 here tonight, so a couple more of these and we'll be seeing halfway here rather quickly, Jacob.
Rather quickly we will. If you're just joining us, Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler in the broadcast booth. Brian Harvey and Scott Simley, teammates, leading the party as we get set for a restart with 18 of 80 laps complete, so almost quarter distance in the Daytona 200 tonight. Harvey, Simley, both veterans of this series, a lot of rookies behind them. About 7 of the top 9 right now behind your 2 race leaders are all rookies to this RSR Outlaw Truck Series and going to be trying to make a name for themselves as we go through the course of the season. Went down and talked with Harvey and Simley. They're excited to be in the position they're in right now. They know this is a good shot for them to go to victory lane, and they're going to try to work together on this American Ethanol restart, which comes right now. 18 laps complete, and this restart powered by American Ethanol, American-made, American-grown. Brian Harvey, Scott Simley lead away to turns 1 and 2. Everybody else trying to get single file, get in the draft and challenge. The guy that I'm watching, Andy, has led several laps early on in this race. Got from 4th to 1st on the opening one, but currently rides 6th. Scott Bolster in that GoDaddy number 40 machine.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. Was able to get into that top spot early on. Obviously, was in the right place at the right time to avoid that wreck. He was leading at that time, so fortunate for him, he wasn't involved in that. He's about the only one up there in about the top 14, 13 trucks right now that actually started in the top 13. So he's doing a good job so far here tonight, and right now he's doing what he can on the bottom side. One truck, though, all by himself up on that top, TJ Kelly. I think he's going to learn pretty quickly, unless he's a master at the side draft here, that he's going to be probably going towards the back here momentarily.
Yeah, it's tough when you're all by yourself on that high lane. Kevin Linden was credited with his second caution flag under that second yellow and has taken his Lowe's Chevrolet Silverado with damage to the garage area. His night is done after leading a lap in the opening stint of this event. They're trying to form up the draft on the high lane of the racetrack. Nobody, though, able to get around Harvey right now, though they are trying. Rodney Perry, the 0-4, giving a shove. We got the challenge coming, and we may just have a battle for the lead as TJ Kelly's looking up top.
Looking up top, and they're trying to get that third truck in line right now, but I'm not sure if Ross Cato in the 90 truck actually can get the draft currently right now of those top 2 guys on the outside lane right now. Kelly still trying to make it happen. They're doing a great job hanging with those guys right now, getting a little momentum off of turn number 2 is a lap truck. They had to avoid him very quickly right there off of turn number 2. That's the 43 truck there they just went by, but top 2 rows right now, they're still hanging tough together.
Yeah, Doug Roth lacking a lot of power. He's already 4 laps down, about to be 5 laps down, was involved in one of those early skirmishes that has taken him out of contention. Brian Harvey still holding the pretty wheel on the bottom of the racetrack up in front with Scott Simley pushing. The challenge, though, on the outside, TJ Kelly, Rodney Perry, they're going for it. Another lap truck on the outside, everybody having to avoid as they work through turns 1 and 2. That's the toughest thing about these slower trucks, Andy. You catch them in the corners, that's disaster asking for a place to happen.
Yeah, you definitely want to catch them on the back straightaway, basically. Even going through the trial was a tough place to get around a lap truck. Like we said, it's possible to go 3 wide here. The track's wide enough. But at Daytona, it just seems that, especially with these trucks can get, they're so aero sensitive. And when you get that third truck on that outside lane, it really makes that inside lane real loose. And it's tough for those guys to keep it down off of them. So the really only safe place to really catch these guys is probably on the back straightaway.
Lead change at stripe. TJ Kelly by 4 1/1000ths of a second leads his first lap in RSR competition in the number 23 truck. Brian Harvey and Scott Simley, though, fighting back on the inside lane. They want to lead down the super stretch. And Cisco, I know from what I've heard on the 66's radio, Brian very happy with his race truck right now.
Yeah, he's very happy. He's running up there right up front with his teammate. But we're looking to see... I talked to the 90 truck during the caution. They're a little worried about damage, but nothing too bad. So he's been trying to maybe try and go to the outside and start mixing things up a little bit. I was talking to him during the caution. He said he didn't really want to ride in the back. He wanted to be up there mixing it up. So that 90 truck, he's going to be up on that high side, I'm pretty sure, all night.
And if you can make the high lane work here, Andy, that's not a bad place to be. You've just, wherever you are, you got to have the drafting help. Otherwise, you're going to be out of luck in a hurry.
Yeah, we've seen it right now. These in the first stint of the race, we saw that outside line hanging with the inside lane and going for the lead back and forth. And we're seeing the same thing right now as the 23 of Kelly got by him there into turn number 1. But here comes the bottom side again with some more momentum off of the corner. So it just goes back and forth. It's all how tightly packed these guys can get up to the back bumper without overheating the truck. So that top side's starting to gain some muscle right now as they got about 7 trucks now in that top side. So the drafting is there now for the top side. We'll see if they can get them around there. The question, though, is Kelly going to drop down in front of Brian Harvey, or is he going to stick with that 04 truck of Perry?
It is the question that we will be asking and watching over the course of this run. Getting a little bit of a decent green flag run going here now as we've finally gotten things settled back out. A couple of early cautions and almost got dicey. The 17, another lap truck, and that really shuffled the outside lane. TJ Kelly had to back way out of the throttle, lost all his momentum. Did a fancy job, though, avoiding the 17 of Bobby Wetzel, and that stuck him 3 wide for a moment, but it also gave the teammates Brian Harvey, Scott Simley the lead back after a dicey moment.
Yeah, that's Kelly right there was probably the one that the 23 truck was probably the one that was in the most precarious position right there. He actually lost his momentum, and the 04 of Rodney Perry actually got around him. They're able to hook back up right now, but they don't have much help behind them currently on that top side. And that's allowed the top 2 now to separate themselves just a bit. The 1 truck, though, of Alex Bergeron, sitting there third on that inside lane. He's been quietly in that position most of the... Oh, now look at him. I say he's quiet. Now he ducks to the outside now. He wants to challenge for the lead on the outside. Right in front of Rodney Perry he goes, and here they come to the front into turn 1.
Yeah, Bergeron had a big head of steam coming off turn 4. He's going to use it to make a challenge for the lead in that Chevrolet Silverado. The one machine of Bergeron off turn number 2, trying to side draft, trying to make it happen. He's got a lap truck to worry about avoiding. Everybody squeeze plays down to the inside as they head for turn 3. The 41 of Corbin Him Street going to get out of the way wisely. We almost shuffled 3 wide, and it almost gives Bergeron the lead. Everybody trying to form back together, and now Harvey going to poke the nose out in front again. We're 3 wide off turn 4.
We are, and I'm not sure that was intentional by the 04, but now he's going to get pinched up there all by himself as Kelly drops to the inside. He's going to take advantage of that slip-up of Rodney Perry. Perry now going to drop in line, 3rd truck now on the high side. Everybody's a little sigh of relief right there. Take a deep breath as they go around another lap truck there on the high side. I think we're these lap trucks are going to come into play here at some point, I'm sure, Jacob. There's just so many of them right now, and obviously when you're running by yourself out there, the speed difference is huge, and the closing rate for these leaders on these guys is just a massive.
Yeah, it'll be very, very dicey, and trouble, I believe, for the 83 of Adam Benefield. Motor problems for him, and he was running towards the second pack here. We had a 19 truck lead pack, right now a 17 truck lead pack, and a lead change at the stripe with 28 laps complete. Alex Bergeron credited with the top spot. That'll be his first lap tonight that he has led. He'll be our 5th different leader here at the Daytona International Speedway. Leaders in turn 2.
They're in turn 2. They're coming up on a lead lap truck. That lap truck decides to go to the inside. That's probably the safest move right there. Get totally off the racing surface. Let these guys get by, then get back out on the track. And that high side, still a little bit of momentum. They get the momentum going down the straightaway. But as soon as they get into that corner, that's really where that bottom side really prevails, Jacob. And right now, Brian Harvey doing a great job with Scott Simley, giving him the push off of the corner. They're going to lead this lap this time by. Now the 23 of Kelly's going to drop to that inside lane, 4th one in line. So he's going to change up his plan a little bit here. He wants to go back to the bottom side. So everybody just trying to figure out which lane is going to be the one to go in. Obviously on the bottom side, though, there's only one lane to pass, and that's on the high side.
Yeah, and there's now 3 RSR veterans in the bottom lane trying to work together. Brian Harvey, Scott Simley, and the 45 of Mike Montesi has joined this fight now, trying to make something happen. The top 10 have all come from outside the top 10, save for Bergeron, who started 10th and continues to challenge for the lead. The problem is, and Cisco, maybe you can offer a little bit of insight onto this, every time Bergeron goes for the lead, it seems like about the point that he's ready to make the move and edge out in front, it ends up that the 04 of Rodney Perry has to back off. These trucks look like they're starting to overheat a little bit in the draft.
Yeah, we had a little bit of this on during the Monday race where, we started to get a run, but the problem was a lot of these trucks with the fixed setup, they run a little bit more tape than we would like for at least staying together as much. But right now, it's also about, keeping that run through the corner. We talk about, tires really isn't a big deal here. That's one of the things where it actually does make a difference, is kind of that handling through the corner. And if you remember, none of these guys have come in yet. They're on 31 lap tires. Obviously, we had some cautions there. But maybe, they're losing a little bit of the feeling on these trucks as the run goes on.
Bergeron working back up to second on that outside lane. Now you've got a 16 truck lead pack that is packed very tightly together. Leaders are in turn 2, 2 by 2 by 2, most of the way back. The only guy all alone, the guy that we'll see if we can go on board with right now, the 45 of Mike Montesi, does not have any company to the outside, but he continues to fight towards the front of this field, now trying to get a little bit of help from the 23 of TJ Kelly. They're in 3.
Yeah, the whole point's to try to stay with the pack, and the guys in front of you don't want to lose that draft. We see that top side right there. Looks like they all got tight off the corner. They kind of went towards the wall and jerked the wheel back down the track. So maybe tire wear is starting to play a factor for those guys on the high side. The bottom lane, though, they seem to be in pretty good shape now. Even Harvey and Simley, who have been out there since the drop of the original green flag. So the green flag pit stops has got to be coming pretty quick for these guys right now. There's a couple more lap trucks on the outside trying to work together to keep up somewhat speed, but you can see just how fast that pack is when it comes screaming right by him right there. But the one of Bergeron had a little bit of an advantage there. He's going to lose it again. Harvey back to the lead in turn 4.
Yeah, Brian Harvey back to the lead, and I thought they were going to lose it pretty easily. Doug Roth, a lap truck, going to stay clear to the outside, but just as quickly as Brian Harvey lost his momentum, Bergeron had a moment entering turn number 3 and just got separated from the 04, his pusher, Rodney Perry. They could not get locked back together right away. That allowed Harvey and Simley to get completely clear. Now that high lane trying to steamroll again, but it's the veterans that continue to lead the way here with 34 of 80 laps complete now. The battle for the lead is still 2-step into turn number 3. Harvey, Bergeron, Simley, and Perry, your top 4.
Yeah, this is where the 3rd, 4th, 5th row these guys just got to be patient and relax and realize they have nowhere to go. There's really nothing they can do. Even if they get a run, they really got to just kind of check up and, capitalize on maybe a lane that's got the advantage. So it's a tough place to be when you're riding about middle of this pack right here, because you just basically got to ride at this point.
Yeah, you do, and this is going to get dicey. Perry took a peek to the extreme high lane. I thought we were going 3 wide for a minute. That's where it's really getting dicey. Now the 23, TJ Kelly drops to the bottom, leaves those 2 trucks outside all alone. Bergeron's led 2 laps tonight. Brian Harvey has led the most laps so far of any truck tonight, and he's going to try to add another one right here as they work off 3 and 4. Bergeron with no help now. That's going to be a problem, and a lot of lap traffic ahead.
A whole bunch of lap traffic right now. Hold your breath, leaders, as they come through right now. You got to give these lap guys some credit right here. As you see 6 trucks right there in a line, all with damage, just don't have the speed to hang up with these guys, but they're doing a good job so far, just staying out of the way. And as I say that, a little bit of contact. Looks like Dave Camara in that clocks by Christopher Silverado made contact with one of them, and now the caution is going to fly.
The 94 machine, Thomas George, our in-race reporter from the start of this race, gets a piece of it. Contact, and we knew that lap trucks eventually were going to be the issue. The caution flag flies now with 35 laps complete. We'll take a look at the replay right now, and you'll get a look at this, Andy. We knew this was all going to break loose eventually. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah, I talked about this a few laps ago. When you start getting 3 wide here, that middle lane gets real loose, and I think that's a product you saw right there with that 72 machine of David Camara. It looked like he got a little bit loose and kind of chased the truck up the racetrack. It made the slightest of contact, but it was enough that it got the truck into the wall, the lap down car into the wall. And, of course, the accordion effect happens, and everybody behind him just piles in, and we got ourselves our 3rd caution of the night.
Rodney Perry around on the super stretch, trying to slow it down, but we're under caution with 36 of 80 laps complete, and we'll be back with more here on LSRTV in a moment from Daytona International Speedway. You're watching coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series on iRacing Live and LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
as he works through corners number 3 and 4. The peak antifreeze, the team at number 58. and unofficially he will come across the line as the 2015 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion. Kenny Humpy will win his first title.
This is what it's all about, Tim. Simply put, now look at Ottinger and Humpy. Ottinger running defensively, Humpy following every bit in his tire tracks.
Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Humpy's got the advantage, but Ottinger's not going to.
Oh, he got into him!
Ottinger gets into the 58, turns right into him, and that ends Ottinger's run.
Kenny Humpy will go to victory lane.
Kenny Humpy now looks for the lead on Nick Ottinger, working lap number 61, closing in on the halfway point.
At a corner number 4, checkered flag in the wind, and for 2 weeks in a row, it's going to go to Kenny Humpy in car number 58. Pace car off, and Humpy's gone. Green flag flies, and what a flying start for that number 58.
Kenny Humpy has a 3-second advantage over the rest of the field. We've only completed 42 laps, and that 58 car is hauling the nail.
Kenny Humpy, you can't argue with the setup he's got under his car. Last time around, he picked up an extra 1/10 of a second over Ray Alfalla.
And that means Kenny Humpy will have won his 3rd NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series race of this short season. Kenny Humpy takes the lead. That tells me that car is just what we have seen in the past. Very fast early, but extremely fast late. Super balanced and a long run race car. Kenny Humpy, dominant here at Dover is an understatement. 30 laps to go. The pace car is off. Kenny Humpy again on the loud pedal.
Oh, it is the 58 car of Kenny Humpy who will round 3 and 4, come up to the checkered flag, and he'll win his 4th race. And your point leader going to extend that point lead in a huge way. Checkered flag at Michigan, and round number 9 of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series goes to Kenny Humpy.
Welcome back, LSRTV and iRacing Live. Working the halfway lap, lap number 40 here at Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing, and coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series tonight. Presented by Race Chaser Online. Today's racing news, yesterday's racing history, tomorrow's racing stars. Visit www.racechaseronline.com for more information. And as we bring you inside the broadcast tower, Jacob Seelman and Andy Kessler calling the action with Cisco Scaramouza down on pit road, getting ready for a restart, Andy, and 2 tires on the 07 of Cody Gibson, but Alex Bergeron in the 1 gets the jump off pit road, and he's going to lead the field back to the green flag here with exactly half of this race, 40 of 80 complete.
Yeah, they're I got some interesting characters on the radio right now, but yeah, Alex Bergeron been up front this whole time, avoided that first wreck there at the beginning of the race, started in that P10 position. Only one in the top 10 that currently that did start in the top 10, so he's kept his nose clean. He's been up front, led some laps there towards the during this last run as he was going back and forth, but now he gets to lead this field back to the green flag.
We have already had 12 lead changes between 5 different drivers. Brian Harvey has led the most laps of this race so far. We'll get a count for you here in just a moment, but it's Alex Bergeron in the 1 leading the way. The American Childhood Cancer Organization pace car heads for pit road. Bergeron back under the American Ethanol green flag, and we are underway once again. He leads Mike Montesi and Gibson in that Steel Horse Racing number 07 down to turn 1, and they're going to stack up 2 by 2 and get back at it in the draft, but a good jump for the inside lane on this restart.
Yeah, tough start for the 36 of Sean Haverly. That's what's going to slow up that top side there. Mike Montesi just didn't get any help on that restart. That's going to put him back now side by side for that battle for that 3rd position right there. But look at Alex Bergeron on the top side now, gaining some momentum as they enter turn number 3. They got about 5 trucks now on that high side, 4 of them to be exact, that are tucked up onto each other, trying to get a little momentum. But right now, the top 2 guys are all by themselves out front.
Yeah, they are, and they're trying to be joined by that 46 truck on the bottom. Mark Bratcher, another RSR veteran who we've not seen much of lately, took most of the year off, but back in this Outlaw Truck Series trying to make a little bit of noise. Rides in the 4th position right now. just ahead of the 68 of Scott Simley. Another couple of veterans trying to work together. Simley and Brian Harvey, the two teammates, have gotten split up, one on the inside lane, one on the outside lane, trying to go 3 wide in the middle of the pack, back about 7th on the bottom. The 40 machine, Scott Bolster, trying to work his way back to the front. Things getting dicey.
Yeah, it looks like Eberhardt there in the 89 decided to split.
Oh, trouble! Turn number 3. Big problems for Cody Gibson. He goes around trying to battle for second. That's going to wipe out most of the front runners. Caution flag flies with 42 laps complete and chaos in turn 4.
Well, I'll tell you, if you weren't involved in that first big one, I'll tell you what, if you weren't involved in that big one, you're probably involved in this one, unless you're the one of Alex Bergeron. He was a lucky one there, being out in front there, that was able to avoid that one.
And I'm trying to look at how this, and Gibson just got loose on the bottom, came up into the 45 of Montesi, and it was on from there. That wipes out most of the front runners and leaves us with at least a few trucks to battle for the win here, but a whole lot of chaos here at Daytona International Speedway. We're just past halfway, and you're watching LSRTV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. Back with more after this. Bergeron, your leader at Daytona.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Championship leader has taken over. Vincent holds a 22.5 seconds.
While lions are notorious for their voracious appetites, they spend a great deal of time feeding other creatures. In fact, lions will take great care to ensure there's plenty to go around. As you can see, they keep giving with utter ferocity. Bravo, lions, and bon appetit. Do good, be a lion.
Welcome back to the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, and getting set for another restart tonight. After the second big one, the fourth caution flag of the evening, Alex Bergeron has survived it all. He's your race leader. Scott Simley works his way back to second. Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler in the broadcast booth. And Andy, two big ones, both of them have happened with cars fighting for that runner-up spot. This lead bunch has not been the place to be tonight. I think that's the one thing I've learned here through these first 45, 46 laps.
Yeah, typically, you could say that for the most part, when you're up front in that top 5 or so, you're probably fairly pretty safe. I guess safer than you are in the middle of the pack. But for some reason tonight, it seems like a lot of net coding issues. It seems the drivers are talking about. So I'm not sure if it's a server issue or what tonight, or if it's a full moon or something's going on. But yeah, it's just kind of unusual. But yeah, we've seen two huge wrecks tonight, and that's only going to leave us 14 on the lead lap.
We're getting set for the restart. Pace car is going to head to the safety of pit road. Alex Bergeron, Scott Simley lead the field back to the green flag, which is in the air now. Bergeron on the gas. TJ Kelly trying to join him. Top side, it's a couple of veterans. Scott Simley in the 68 was up there with the 20 of Chad Coleman. Coleman ducks to the inside and leaves Simley hanging. He's a lonely man up top right now, and he's going to slide to the bottom with a dicey move, makes it happen, and now Simley and Coleman going to try to see if they can't work together and make something happen.
Yeah, it looked like Coleman maybe burped the throttle there so that Simley could get down in line right there. 13, though, Travis Burt sitting there, started 22nd. He's sitting in that 5th spot right there. Not the greatest of restart. Looks like a little bit of front-end damage on that machine right there. He's got a little bit of help right now from Mark Bratcher, giving him a little push right now. But look at that 20. He burped the throttle, lost momentum. Now he's falling back into the clutches there. Now we only got a 3-truck battle for the lead as Kelly now looks to the outside. Is Simley going to follow him, or is he going to stick to the bumper of the one?
Nah, he's glued to the bottom of the racetrack, but how about the side draft for TJ Kelly? He's been able to make something happen and may be able to run to the lead. Simley goes to the outside as Bergeron got really loose, and now Simley's going to try to push the 23 clear of the one down the back straightaway. New leader, TJ Kelly.
Yeah. Kelly back to the lead. Look at Simley trying to drop down in front of the one. Not going to happen. Caution back on the speedway.
13 machine going to be the reason for the caution. Travis Burks, who was running in the 5th spot, going to be the cause of our 5th caution of the night here with 48 laps complete. And Cisco, I'll throw it down to you. They're dropping like flies at this point.
Yeah, it looked like what happened there was the 13 was kind of running a little bit of the middle lane. The 04 was maybe trying to get a little bit of side draft and just got up into the 13 a little bit, and spun him out into the wall. And it's just an end of a already kind of long night for the 13. Remember, he was involved in that second big one. But it'll be interesting to see. We're not sure on fuel strategy. A couple of people said they might be able to make it with a couple more cautions. We've gotten a couple more cautions, but once again, we go back to how those tires were doing under green after a while. So, maybe a little bit of strategy call here, considering a lot of these trucks, at least the clean trucks, they should be pretty fast here and be able to get through the pack.
So under caution, closing in on 30 laps to go, and since we're beyond halfway, we are going to go LSRTV non-stop here from the World Center of Racing and continue to watch a new leader. TJ Kelly out in front, Alex Bergeron back to 3rd from Daytona International Speedway. You're watching Live Sim Racing TV.
the outside, contact made. 56 slides it into 4. Who's going to be into the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself. And they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building two tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result, and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
Welcome back to LSRTV coverage of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series from Daytona International Speedway. Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler, Cisco Scaramuzza with you for tonight's action, the Daytona 200, the season kickoff for the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. And under caution, working our fifth caution of the night with 51 laps complete. Sixth leader of the night, TJ Kelly, took the lead right as the caution flag came out and will hold the lead for this restart. Travis Burks in the 13, the reason for the yellow flag. But Kelly, new leader ahead of Alex Bergeron in the 1, who will restart behind him on the inside file. Scott Simley and Chad Coleman, RSR veterans, going to line up on the outside for this restart. And Andy, boy, it's been chaotic here in the early goings of this one. Problem is, we still got 28 laps to go before we're done.
Yeah, 28 laps, 14 trucks on the lead lap. Hopefully we keep it like that for the rest of this, and we don't have any more issues with these leaders right now. A lot of guys hungry for a win up there in the front. A lot of guys, new guys to the league, and a lot of veterans up there too. So a good mix that are still left in this thing, ready to get it done.
The American Childhood Cancer Organization pace car headed for the safety of pit lane field again. Going to be in the hands of TJ Kelly and Scott Simley. Coming back to the American Ethanol green flag. It goes in the air. And how about Simley? He gets a great restart. TJ Kelly does not get a good one. And Scott Simley will be credited with the lead on lap 52 and lead his first laps of the night as we head back to turn number 1. The veterans going on the outside. Simley and Coleman want the lead.
They want the lead, but it's not going to happen off of turn number 2 right here. Coleman trying to look to the inside, almost pitches the 90 of Ross Cato down off the racetrack right there. He drops in line now, third in line on the inside. That's Chad Coleman. He leaves Simley all by himself. He's going to check up just a bit, let Simley drop in line, pretty much what they did on that last restart right there. Kelly, though, he's going to lead the whole pack right now. That's single file. We haven't said that much at all here tonight. Single file off turn 4.
For the moment, top 4, top 5 run single file. Ross Cato up into that number 5 position and closing to join this battle for the lead. Mark Bratcher behind him in 6th. Now, top 5 trucks run in lockstep formation as we complete 53 complete. Kelly back to the point. Simley now all over the back deck lid of the one of Alex Bergeron and Mark Bratcher. The first truck looking to the outside lane. Battle for 5th down the super stretch.
He's looking on the outside lane. The problem is he going to get any help right there from Stephen Waller? Waller's going to follow him on that high side. Now here comes some more trucks now into the picture. The rest of the top of the field right now. Who's going to go to that high side and help these two out right now? Bratcher, just the lonely help of Stephen Waller right now on that outside. Now Kelly, he's going to have a battle for the lead as the one of Alex Bergeron jumps to the outside now. He's going to lead that freight train on the outside. 3 trucks strong on the outside. Still side by side though for that lead back into 1.
Yeah, how about the move that TJ Kelly did, going and picking up Mark Bratcher on the outside lane. He knew Bratcher was coming with a head of steam and was really able to do it almost by himself. Battle for the lead, back down the super stretch. Kelly to the inside and Bergeron to the outside, trying to use that side draft. Squeeze him down there, make something happen. He doesn't have a lot of help from Bratcher. He's going to fall back, and it's going to allow Kelly to get a push from Scott Simley and make a move on the inside back to the lead as they exit turn 4.
They are. The biggest loser in that whole instant right there was the 67 to Stephen Waller. He was second in line on that high side when Alex Bergeron went up there. For some reason, I don't know if he checked up or what, but he definitely lost the draft of that top side and fell all the way back to the back of this lead pack here. So the 67, not sure if it was damage related or if just he flat out lost his momentum right now. Off of turn number 2, though, your leaders still look at the 1 truck. Alex Bergeron really getting up there, trying to get some side draft down the back straightaway here. It's going to allow him to at least stay up in that top 3 area right now because he's got no help from behind that 46 machine of Mark Bratcher. He's lost touch right now as he's going to look now. It looks like off turn number 4, possibly to drop into the bottom line. He does. Leave Alex Bergeron all by himself, but he's hanging tough up there, Jacob.
He's hanging tough for the moment. 56 laps complete, 24 laps to go. Cisco, these guys have got to start thinking about the tail end of this race. We're getting down towards crunch time. Not time to go yet, but they've got to be setting up, who they want to work with in this final quarter. You've got to have teammates, and if you don't have teammates, you got to at least have friends.
Yeah, and talk about friends. The 09 of John Earlers, along with the Kenneth Cornell in the 22, those guys have started to creep into this picture. We haven't really talked about them much this whole night, but both those trucks don't look too bad as far as damage goes, and they've been working with each other ever since, I believe, that first wreck. So keep an eye on those two. They've been working together really well, and they're kind of breaking into the top 10 as we speak.
They have broken into the top 10. Another driver who got the free pass under this last caution and is back on the lead lap. A far cry from being involved in the big one at lap 8, has worked his way to 13th, Andy. How about Corbin Himstreet? Never give up in that 41 RCO Boomtown Sim entry. Himstreet, maybe not a winning truck, but he's certainly at least able to stay on the lead lap tonight and trying to work a little bit with his teammate in the 9, Anthony DeBar, to make something happen and at least salvage what they can here tonight.
Yeah, and that's pretty much been the MO for that whole RCO Boomtown team all year long as they ran through the Full Throttle Cup Series here at RSR also. So it just shows you, you never give up. You try to get every position you can, even when you do have trouble early on. And if all goes in the right direction for Corbin, he could end up with a solid top 10 out of this. And with all the guys, big names that are going to be a threat, as the weeks go on here, especially next week at Atlanta, the guys like Dwayne Vincent and things like that. This is going to give Corbin Hemstreet, a pretty good step in the points as far as battling those guys for the championship as the season goes along. But the leaders right now, they work their way around lap traffic back into turn 3. It's 4 trucks, 2 by 2. They're the only ones out there battling this out.
Yeah, they are. They've been able to separate themselves from Chad Coleman, John Ellers, Mark Bratcher, Kenneth Cornell, and the rest of the gang. Back there, top 10 are within 2 seconds of one another right now. Chad Cole, former champion, has worked his way back inside the top 10 now as these 4 trucks continue to run in tight formation. 60 laps going to be complete this time, 150 miles. We're down to the final 50 miles here at the Daytona International Speedway. And again, 2 by 2 for the race lead as caution flag flies. We're going to work on getting a visual as far as what the caution flag was for here in a moment. We can tell you that TJ Kelly will hold the lead as they come around to the caution. Trouble for the 87 truck as he comes to a stop on the road course portion of the racetrack and brings the caution flag out. So Justin Michael, who was in 26th position, 13 laps down at the time of the caution flag, draws the caution by pulling into that road course. And now we're inside the final 20 and LSRTV 20 to go. Andy, I like the 23 of TJ Kelly. He's really been putting it on him right now.
Yeah, he's been tough all night long up in the front, pretty much this whole second half of this race. He's going to be a threat here as this one moves on. But quite honestly, that 4 trucks that were in that top pack, those have all been strong trucks all night long. So in the end, they don't have any damage, or any major damage, I should say. So those are probably going to be the 4 guys that are really going to duke this thing out all the way to the end.
We'll take advantage here under this caution flag to take a final break in and go LSRTV nonstop. Hopefully when we come back, we can bring you green flag all the way to the checkers. From the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway, you're watching the RSR Outlaw Truck Series on iRacing Live and LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
cars are lined up on the grid. The RSR.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn one for the first time.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it into 4, who's going to be into the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's pretty cool.
Welcome back to LSRTV, getting set for a restart with 16 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway for the opening race of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler on the mic here in the broadcast tower. Cisco Scaramuzza down on pit road, getting set for what we hope is going to be our final restart tonight. TJ Kelly has dominated this race. He has led the last 12 laps of this event, and all but one since lap 47. We're getting ready to go again, Andy, and as we bring him to the restart, Kelly, he wants to go on that inside lane, and I just talked to Scott Simley here as we go green. He said he has no friends.
Yeah, it's unfortunately lost his partner in crime that he had early in the race, but like I said, I think the 90 truck will probably help him out here a little bit. I think Cato knows exactly who Scott Simley is and who he is here in as far as the RSR world right now. Is that bottom side of Kelly and Bergeron. Definitely got a really good restart right there. The 90 unable to get up to speed quick enough to get Simley a push to the lead. Now it's going to be Simley battling for that third position right now, side by side with the 20. That's Chad Coleman. Coleman, he's got a little help from Bratchers. There's 4 trucks strong on the inside, but here comes that outside lane back into turn 3.
Yeah, Bratcher had to fall off the back deck lid of the 20 of Chad Coleman. Now, Ross Cato, Scott Simley trying to make something happen on the outside lane. The question's going to be who gets hooked up and who makes it happen fast enough. Bratcher really falling off this train of 5 now, and now Simley starting to pick up some steam on the outside lane. 15 laps to go. Can he make it happen? He's getting the push from Cato. Battle for the lead, heads back to 1.
And you can see the 20 truck actually starting to fall off there. I think the damage that he has sustained is just not allowing him to stay in this group once they get up to speed. I think these 4 trucks that we saw the last go around kind of pull away from everybody. I think they're going to do it again here, as now we're side by side, 2 by 2 for the race lead right now. Simley on the outside's got the help from the 90 of Ross Cato now. Kelly, though, strong on the inside. The inside lane through the corners is definitely the place to be. The question is, off of the corners, can that top side get enough, especially on that last lap, to maybe steal off a win here? This lap, though, Kelly still going to lead it here as we complete lap number 66, working 67 now as we get closer and closer to the end of this thing. 4 trucks now. It looks like they're going to be the ones going for the win.
Yeah, the big key, Scott Simley has not led a green flag lap tonight. He led lap 52 as they were finishing up the lap 48 caution flag, and Travis Burke's trouble helped him. But now, how about a huge push by the 90 of Ross Cato? Scott Simley, they managed to get clear. I think the 23 of TJ Kelly and the 1 of Alex Bergeron got separated for a moment there, and that's going to allow that tandem on the outside to pull all the way to the bottom, make it happen. And now Scott Simley, as I just got done saying he hadn't led a green flag lap tonight, is going to lead one here with 13 to go.
Yeah, and here comes the 20 and the 46 back in the picture real quickly onto the bumper of the 90, giving them a couple shoves there as they get into turn number 1 right now. So the roles have switched. Kelly and Bergeron now to the top side, Simley and Cato to the bottom.
Oh, and they get loose, nearly make
Bergeron
contact, Andy.
Yeah, into the wall right there. That's going to lose the momentum. Can Kelly now grab onto the back of this draft pack here, because the 1 car of Bergeron, he's going to need a caution.
Yeah, he is. Cisco, they were getting loud. They were trying to work together, and it looked like, from our vantage point, just mistimed the bump a little bit off turn 2, and Alex Bergeron almost hooked TJ Kelly into the wall.
Yeah, that was really dicey right there, but they were able to manage to hold on to those trucks right now. But I can see some damage on the 23 right now, especially on that left front. I think there was a little bit of net code with the 90 of Ross Cato, but that split those 2 up. I think this is going to be a 4-truck race now.
So we're working down the back straightaway. The question is, how good is the 46 of Bratcher and the 20 of Coleman? Can they make a run to really challenge the 68 of Simley and the 90 of Cato, or is it really going to be a 2-truck race for the win? They're hanging on right now. I think the 2 best trucks in this race were the 23 and the 1, but they're of no consequence now. 11 to go at the stripe, and Cato almost looking below the double yellow line to make a pass. Can't go down there.
Yeah, he was getting pushed right there by the 20 of Chad Coleman, and they kind of got him loose and got him down to the bottom side as the leaders all still single file right now, working their way around the lap truck. The 43 again also right there. But the 46, it looks like he can't lose any momentum here. He's got to stay in it, and those guys got to be able to make a run here on the outside possibly or whatever. They're not going to be able to drive through these guys on the bottom, so Simley doing everything he can, just protecting that bottom side and around that yellow line all around this racetrack.
Yeah, he is, and if you defend the bottom more often than not, you can make something happen. So basically, Mark Bratcher trying to see how long he can put the foot to the floor. Challenge for the lead with 10 laps to go. They've made the move to the outside. Bratcher holding his foot down. Chad Coleman going for the lead in that 4, down to 1.
Yeah, they're going for the lead right now, but like you said, can the 46 stay hooked up to that bumper, and for how long? With the little bit of damage these trucks have right now currently, how quickly is that truck going to overheat? So he's going to have to be careful. You see him duck out on the back straightaway there to get some air to that front nose right there. Try to cool this thing off right now and save it for the remainder of the laps here. But right now, the bottom side again, Simley hanging tough on the outside. Those other 2, the 46, Coleman, and the 20, those guys had to separate themselves. They're going to lose a little bit of time. With Cato and Simley looking very tough on that bottom side, real calm and cool over the radio.
9 laps to go for Scott Simley, who said, I don't have any friends for this restart, but I think we got a shot to win this race. He relied on the rookie, Ross Cato, who rides second in that 90 truck. They may be able to win this race together, but Chad Coleman's a never-give-up kind of driver. They've caught back those front 2. Coleman, Bratcher, they want to make it a 4-truck race for the win. It is that into turn 3.
It is, but they continue to stay single file right now on that bottom side. I think for the 20 and the 46, they need to just kind of hang out right where they're at in this. Let the engines cool. Let the heads cool off a little bit here. And then with about 1 or 2 laps to go, they can try to make their push to the outside and try to see if they can get anything from these guys. But I think for now, I think the smart move for those guys would be to just kind of hang right where they're at. I think they're in the catbird seat when you're talking about this. When you come to these plate tracks like this, being the leader with 1 to go is, as far as I'm concerned, is not the best place to be.
Well, it may be the best place to be with a couple of trucks that have a little bit of damage behind you. They know it's going to be tough for those two to make anything happen. The Toyota of Chad Coleman and then the 46 of Bratcher. But now a little bit of space between all 4 of these trucks as they work the draft, and behind them from 5th on back, it's a great battle for position, Andy. That second pack from 6th all the way through the end of the lead lap in 15th. You've got the 22 of Kenneth Cornell, the 04 of Rodney Perry, the 1 of Bergeron making moves. He's up to 6th now, and Corbin Hemstreet in the 41 up in the top 10.
Yeah, it's exactly what we talked about with the 41 of Hemstreet is hopefully he can salvage a top 10 out of this. He's getting a lot of help from his teammate Anthony DeBarro in that 9 truck right now. Just nowhere to go currently, and they're on that bottom line right now. That's just a huge line of trucks right now. The 1, though, just like we saw, but it was a battle for the lead. The 1 and the 23 have hooked up together again. They're on that outside of that second pack right now. Unfortunately for them, 5.5 seconds back. I just think they're way out of reach right now to even get remotely close to the top 4 guys.
Yeah, it's a 4-man race for the win. 6 laps to go. 15 miles this time by, Andy. And if you're Scott Simley, you got to be feeling really good about your chances right now.
Oh, you do, but now the problem for him, and this is exactly what it's going to have to be those last couple laps, he's going to have to place, blocking. He's going to have to block. He's going to have to go to the high side, to the bottom. But at the same time, making those evasive moves, he's got to be careful that he doesn't come down on the 90 truck, because if the 90 gets a run on him when Scott goes to the high side, the bottom side might close up rather quickly. So, there's a damn...
Caution flag is going to fly, coming to 5 laps to go. It is going to be a 1-lap dash if all goes according to plan, guys. Oh, boy. Replay up now. Trouble for the 22 of Kenneth Cornell, the 5 of Christopher Gore. This was in that second pack. It's going to put the field together for a 1-lap dash, gentlemen. And this is where it gets really fun, because now you split the pairs that have worked so well together up. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out. As long as they don't do anything crazy to get back to the green flag, Andy, as soon as they cross the stripe to go green, we have to run it out.
Yeah, they do. But the problem for that is instead of 4 trucks, you got 10, 11 guys. So we'll see who's still left after that wreck right there. But I think a couple of the guys in the top 10 are now out of it because of that wreck right there. So we'll see how everything shapes out here for this 1-lap restart. But that just brings everybody else into the picture, like the 41 of Corbin Hemstreet. So it may not be over. It may not be easy for the 68 of Scott Simley or the 90 of Ross Cato. Those guys, or even the top 4, the 20 and the 46, Bratcher and Coleman, those guys definitely got their work cut out for them, because there's going to be a bunch of guys right behind them that maybe feel they have an opportunity now.
Opportunities abound. Cisco, has it been all quiet on the radio here recently?
Yeah, it has, and part of the reason is Ross Cato and Scott Stenzel haven't really been able to communicate a whole lot. They'll have to talk over all teams. They're not in the same TeamSpeak channel, so that's a problem for them. And Coleman and Bratcher, I don't even see them on TeamSpeak, so they're just kind of doing their own thing also on all teams. So I really think it's just going to be every man for himself here on the restart.
Well, we're going to dial up the race leader here real quickly and see if we can't get his thoughts a couple laps before green. Scott Simley, Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler in the broadcast booth. You've led about the last dozen or so laps here, but you're split from your drafting buddy for this final 1-lap dash when we go back green. What's it going to take to hold him off for 2.5 miles?
Boy, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping maybe Ross can slip and tuck back in. Appreciate the help, keeping me in the lead there. I was hoping I'd just go green all out, but we'll see what happens. Don't want to be a sitting duck out there either.
No, you don't. We've seen the leader oftentimes become just that, Scott. I know you're looking to break a drought, and we won't say anything else. We'll let you get to it, and hopefully we're talking to you in about 3 laps here.
Sounds good.
All right, Andy. He's getting focused. You can hear that right now. Can you pick against the 68 for this final run?
I don't know. I mean, he's probably got the cleanest truck out there. The problem is, though, is I don't know. If he doesn't get any help on this restart, he's going to have the 20 behind him. If the 20 decides to go to the top side or do something different and leave him out, I mean, it all comes down to the restart. Does he pull way ahead of these guys because then they'll get the run? Or does he, time it just right that these guys are able to stick to his back bumper? So I think it's all plays out to what happens on the restart.
Well, we'll find out exactly how it's going to play out right now because we'll dial up the challenger on the radio. Ross Cato, Jacob Seelman, Andy Kessler in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Sure do, guys.
Oh, boy, you've been helping the veteran Scott Simley all the way through this last stint, and you're going to have 2.5 miles to try and find a way around him on that outside lane. Have you got a prayer here? Do you work with him? Do you work against him? What's it going to take to put you in victory lane?
Well, mainly I'm just trying to keep this truck in one piece. I've been pushing Mr. Simley for a while, just trying to see how our trucks react and just kind of save my truck temperature-wise. But this has been a crazy race. And from the wrecks to trying to figure out what's going on with my graphics to a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll just see what happens.
Could you have pictured being in position here with what's going to be 2 laps to go this time by and have a shot at an RSR win?
Well, I think this is the kind of situation that most racers dream about, but I didn't picture myself getting this far and being in this position, but I'm going to try to make the best of it.
We're trying to watch a rookie maybe go to victory lane, Ross. I know you're hoping it's going to be you. We'll let you get to it here as the lights go out and see if we're talking to you here in about another lap.
Sure hope so. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, Andy. I like
there,
the sounds of that here. I'm not so sure he's going to help Simley on this restart.
It's going to be tough. I mean, listen, if Simley gets a jump and he can jump down behind him, then maybe he's got the opportunity, but because they're split up, I think it's going to be tough for him to help him like he's helped him over the last. I think Cato's going to have to rely on that 46 of Bratcher right behind him, and I think Simley's going to have to rely on the 20 to see who gets this win.
Oh, boy. It's about to be fun. We got half a lap. Cisco, it takes him about a lap to get wound up. If you're Ross Cato, if you have to slot in behind Scott for this restart here, is there any way to jump out coming off turn 4 and maybe get the run to the stripe?
I think maybe the only way you could really pull it off is maybe get a little bit of a draft, maybe a little help from, we're talking about the 20 and the 46. If you jump in behind the 68, kind of draft back to the 20, get that boost, maybe that'll be enough to slingshot, but we'll have to see.
After over an hour, it all comes down to this. 2.5 miles, 1 lap to decide the Daytona 200 here for the opener of the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. Pace car going to make its way off of turn number 4 to the safety of the pit lane. Scott Simley versus Ross Cato for the win at Daytona. Who's it going to be? We're about to find out. Green flag in the air when they get to the line. The race is on. And we are go. Battle's on for second. Cato did not get up to speed, so it's Chad Coleman working the inside lane, trying to get a push now from the one of Alex Bergeron. The battle to turn 1.
Pretty good momentum right there for the 20 in the 1 truck. The 46 now jumps back out to the outside, trying to maybe get up to the bumper of the 90. That's going to be his only shot. He's going to drop now on the back straightaway for the final time to the inside. Leaves Cato all by himself. Now he goes back up to try to maybe give him a run. Here they go, 3 wide now. The one truck of Alex Bergeron looking to the inside. That's going to leave Cato to the outside. They're coming to turn 4. Here comes the one with a huge run.
Oh, Cato in the wall, off turn 4. Big run for Alex Bergeron with Mark Bratcher to the outside. Last lap pass to the line. It's going to be Simley versus Bergeron. They spin. Scott Simley wins by 2/1000ths of a second, and they crash past the finish line. Unbelievable.
Have you ever?
Wow.
Bergeron got sideways. I thought he had it, Andy, coming to the line, and just at the last moment, somehow, Scott Simley, I'm even backing it up on my replay to go frame by frame, Bergeron got sideways. Simley was able to keep the wheel straight, and that was all it took. Unbelievable.
I mean, I have this stopped at the start finish line, and you're talking inches right here. I mean, this is just amazing.
Not even the kick out on the front bumper at best.
It's unbelievable how close this is, and I think what that was is the one just trying to get some side draft off Simley and try to give him.
And he got loose.
Yeah, got loose. Maybe a little bit of net code there. We saw the net code like that when these guys were trying to pinch like this all race long come into effect, and I think right there it did again. But man, it's set up for a finish like you wouldn't believe, because it looked like Bergeron had him, but man, just unbelievable right there. That is so close.
4 trucks under a blanket all the way to the line, and somehow Scott Simley gets through to win this. I still don't know what to say. We're going to head to commercial to break all this down. We'll be back to talk with your winner in a moment. Scott Simley by the kick out of the front bumper, 2/1000ths of a second. He's your winner at Daytona. We'll talk with him after this.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
Championship leader has taken over. Vincent holds a 22.5 seconds.
We're back here live at Daytona International Speedway. Just witnessed probably one of the closest finishes ever on that I've ever been a part of for a broadcast, especially at a plate track like this. Just an unbelievable finish to quite a crazy race, Jacob.
Indeed, the closest finish in RSR Outlaw Truck Series history in the season opener tonight on LSRTV. An unbelievable turn of events. And before we throw it trackside to Cisco to get our post-race festivities kicked off, Andy, I heard Bergeron say it over the radio just a couple of moments ago. Yeah, he got sideways. He was trying to side draft him, and it just got loose coming to the line. That's what the difference was.
Yeah, because I think that if he just flat out just stayed his line, I think he had him. I think, maybe Simley had a little bit more of a run going there in the closing, 100 yards or so, but I don't think he would have had enough to get him at the line. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe the mistake was trying to side draft, trying to, keep him down there or pinch him down there. But either way, it was a great finish.
We're going to throw it trackside. Your top three, a mix of veterans and a rookie. First, though, Mark Bratcher's 46 machine comes up third in his return to RSR competition, and Cisco Scarmuza down pit side with him.
Yeah, I caught up with Mark Bratcher, and Mark, you come all the way from 33rd to finish third. Truck's not exactly how you wanted it to look at the end of the race, but talk us through it. How was it?
Well, we definitely need to work on our qualifying efforts for sure. I really expected a lot better than 33rd. So we definitely got to work on that. So we knew it was going to be a struggle coming from the back, and that first wreck that happened up front, we got a little bit of damage, and the guys on the crew did a good job fixing it. And so then we made it, the truck was still running good. The guys did a good job. We got up front and was running, second truck on the inside line, and they wrecked above us and tore up the right front. So at that point, we knew we weren't going to win the race, but we were going to do what we could just to get up front. And I hooked up with Chad. He had a good front, and I had a good back, and we made one car out of one truck out of two trucks. And I think Chad would have had to win if that late caution hadn't come out. But, we're happy where we finished tonight.
Yeah, you guys definitely, I was kind of watching that, your front was a little bit messed up and his rear was a little bit messed up, but you made it work, and you two did a great job there kind of drafting together, not blowing up the trucks or anything like that. It was a great job by you guys. But we saw a lot of loose trucks out there. Was that kind of the case all night?
Well, the setups, the trucks were, we didn't get very many long runs for the tires to play. If we had got a long run, the tire wear on these trucks was really, really bad. So, there would have been a lot of push on them. But I think the first being the first race, and we got a lot of new drivers out there, and guys like Chad and Scott and me and Matt and all of us, we've raced together for years, so we were good with them. But like the one truck that finished second, I had never raced with him before, so how those guys race, we weren't accustomed to. So just getting used to our surroundings, I think, had a lot to do with the caution fest tonight.
Well, Mark, you still finished P3, a great finish for you. Who gets it done for you? Who'd you like to thank?
Well, I want to thank everybody at Oculus. The OculusRift.com. That thing is amazing, and it's a game changer to sim racing. So I want to thank everybody at Oculus for the eyewear to get us going in this thing, and everybody at Peach State Racing, Bill, Bob, Glenn, Chad, all those guys that we worked so hard to get these trucks and the seat time needed to finish these things and racing them, and John and everybody at Real Sim Racing for putting this on. You guys in the booth. It's my first race back with Real Sim Racing, and I'm really happy to be back, and it's definitely the way I wanted to start it, with a good strong run. So I want to thank my girlfriend, my kids, everybody that puts up with me being here racing and spending the hours in here. And I want to thank Chad for working with me tonight. We in years past we hadn't really raced good together, but tonight we clicked, and it was really good to work with him tonight. And congratulations to Scott on the win. But everybody at Peach State Racing, we brought this thing home third, so good job, guys.
All right, well, that's Mark Bratcher. He finishes third, and I believe Andy's caught up with our runner-up, but only by about an inch or so.
Yeah, part of the closest race in RSR Outlaw Truck Series history. Alex Bergeron, one spot short, but it wasn't by much, man. Talk us through that final lap there.
Oh man, that was awesome. I didn't expect to ended up there. Had a accident on turn 2 at the last moment of the race. I recover with a good finish, second place. I thought that I was gonna win, but 1,000th of a second. That's just awesome. But good second place for me. It's good. It's a good way to start the season. Good job for the winner. But yeah, it was a long race. A lot of cautions. We avoid wrecks and stuff, and ended up P2. But that was a awesome last lap.
Well, we have a pretty interesting field here this season. We got a lot of RSR veterans, and we got a lot of rookies mixed into this field too, including yourself. To come in here, race with these guys, you're probably not familiar with racing with most of them. To come in here to run as well as you did, you led a bunch of laps even during the middle portion of this race, and then to come out obviously with a second place finish, you're pretty excited about that. That last ditch effort there, kind of coming down to get the side draft to try to hold yourself out in front of them. Obviously, the truck got a little bit loose there. It ended up pushing you back to the second spot, but really not by much, man. You got to be really excited about the start of the season to get yourself to the second place finish. And the battle up there with a guy like Scott Simley, who's a veteran here at RSR, and to do that, and I'm sure you gained a lot of respect from a lot of these veterans.
Yeah, sure, but like all the race, I was doing side draft. It was working great, so I was saying, yeah, on the last lap, if this have to happen, and what happened, and I did what I did what I have to do, and then net coded at the end. I saw the replay. It was net code, but then it's a good P2 finish for me. I'm pretty satisfied with that. Good way to start the season. We're looking forward for this 10 race season.
Yeah, it's going to go by pretty quick here, too. Next week at Atlanta. You like that track? It's obviously a good track for the trucks. They usually put on a good race there. How do you size up your chances there?
Pretty much. Did a couple of official races on this track, and yeah, we're looking forward for this. And big thanks to Walk Racing team for supporting myself, and pretty good team. And yeah, thanks for them, and thanks for LSRTV to broadcast this season at RSR. Thanks to you guys.
Well, we appreciate it, and congratulations again on this second place finish here tonight, and we'll look forward to watching you get it done next week at Atlanta.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
There you have it, second place finisher Alex Bergeron, rookie to the series, but he finished one spot behind a wily veteran, we'll call him, Scott Simley. He's down with Jacob Seelman.
Gatorade Victory Lane's been a little bit fun already tonight. It's been quite a while since Scott Simley has gotten to celebrate like this, and in the closest finish in Outlaw Truck Series history, Scott, coming off turn 4, Alex had such a run on that outside lane. Can you believe that you were able to sneak it out there at the tail end? I mean, it looked like he had it coming all the way to the line.
Yeah, I really did. I thought I was done for sure. He had such a run there, and then Coleman was behind. He had quite a bit of damage, so he just couldn't quite get a good push on me. So it was so close, and I mean, I definitely kept the wheel straight. I didn't mean to get into him, but he came down a little bit, and it must have been just enough where with the contact, I was able to get him by the scotch.
I think that's what we all called it, was a skosh right at the line, 2 1,000ths of a second. So you get to add your name to the list of Outlaw Truck Series winners here in RSR. 11th different driver to win one of these. And, you know, you didn't lead a green flag lap in the first half of this race. It wasn't till about 14 laps to go that you were able to get out front. I mean, it was a crazy race. Walk me through your path to ultimately get the lead there in the final stages, because I know you had to avoid a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I did. I didn't qualify very good. Started at the back and thought, well, maybe it's meant to be. So, and then me and Brian stayed out, which I think was an okay call. Don't really know for sure how it would have worked out if it would went green, but just stayed out there till about I think there was a caution about halfway through there. Was able to make it on fuel, so went in and figured just take tires. Didn't want to go 80 laps on a set. It seems to push a little bit, so I wanted to at least know for later on pit on the race that could have the grip to hold it down. Stayed out, avoided wrecks, and was able to get to the front, and it's great to have the win.
How sweet is it? I mean, I know you've been successful here in RSR competition in the past, but it's been quite a while. It's got to mean a lot to you to get back to victory lane.
Yeah, it does. There's a lot of competition in here, and I'll take the win no matter what. I mean, it was a battlefield out there tonight, that's for sure.
I know a lot of people, too, that you got to thank, Scott. Sponsors, supporters, teammates, shout-outs. Who makes it happen for Scott Simley?
All my teammates over at ITSR, RSR for putting on the good events, LSRTV, Hippie's Paint Shop, putting the skins on, and you guys up in the booth do a good job.
We appreciate it, and a victory that they will celebrate tonight. Scott Simley, a winner at the Daytona International Speedway. Andy Kessler, it was a wild finish, and it means the standings got shuffled up there in the final laps. Let's take a look at the full field rundown.
Yeah, big winner tonight, obviously, the 68 of Scott Simley, followed by Alex Bergeron, the rookie to the series, 2 1,000ths, like we've been saying. Mark Bratcher came home in that third spot. Chad Coleman, a good run for him, finishing fourth. Ross Cato, another good run for him, had a chance to win late, finishes in the fifth position. Rodney Perry in that 04, after having an EOL penalty and late in the going, battled back to that sixth place spot. And then look at Corbin Hemstreet in the 41 RCO Boomtown machine, finally getting his laps back and then working his way up, gets a solid top 10. Finishing that 7th spot. Stephen Waller in the 67 finishes 8th tonight. Travis Burks will come home 9th. And rounding out the top 10 is that 40 of Scott Bolster.
11th, and the final truck on the lead lap is Mike Montesi in the 45. All the other trucks in tonight's race, 2 laps down or more. Chad Cole, 12th. TJ Kelly, 13th. Thomas George, 14th. Cody Gibson, 15th. 16th to Bobby Wetzel. 17th, Aaron Bennett. 18th to John Ellers. Anthony DeBarro finds a way to rebound all the way to a 19th place finish, and 20th goes to Christopher Gore.
21st was Kenneth Cornell. Donald Jenks will finish 22nd. 23rd goes to Doug Roth. Stefan Marinac will come home 24th. 25th goes to Mike Kelly. CJ LeVere finishes 26th. 27th is Tim Matthews. Matt Lacrosse will come home 28th. Donovan Johns will rebound and come home 29th. 30th to Justin Michael.
31st, David Camara. 32nd, Sean Haverly. 33rd, Brian Harvey, after leading so many laps in the early stages of this one, taken out during one of the late race caution flags. 34th to Daniel Eberhardt, who won the RSR Icebreaker Winter Series race on Monday night here on LSR TV. Paul Fugate, 35th. Steve Ritter, 36th. 37th to Dwayne Vincent, the reigning Full Throttle Cup Series champion. Adam Benefiel, his teammate, 38th. 39th, Austin Yarborough. 40th to Randy McCanney and Kevin Linden, who led lap 4 early on and looked to be a contender for the win. Swept up in the early big one. Rounds out the field in 41st. That's a look at your Ford Performance full field rundown, powered by iRacing.com and Ford. Go further. 80 laps, 200 miles, finally in the books here in the opener for the RSR Outlaw Truck Series. By default, Scott Simley puts himself atop the point standings, and in 1 week's time, we head to the Peach State, Atlanta Motor Speedway, for the first intermediate track race of the 2018 and 15 campaign. For right now, though, we say goodnight from the World Center of Racing and say congratulations to Hippie's Paint Shop Motorsports, the 68 of Scott Simley. They win here at Daytona International Speedway. We'll see you a week from tonight for round 2 at Atlanta. Until then, for our executive producer, Laura Lawson, John Abbott, and the crew at Real Sim Racing, and our crew here tonight on LSRTV, Cisco Scaramuza down on pit road, and my partner in crime, Andy Kessler. I'm Jacob Seelman, reminding you to keep it off the wall until we meet again, and we'll see you next time on the web. Scott Simley wins at Daytona. We say goodnight from the World Center of Racing.